I am going to break down all of the energetics behind feminine energy and receiving, why it can be challenging for us ambitious, go getter, high achieving, fully capable women to receive, and how to practically shift this in our life. What does it look like when we make these tangible shifts to open and to receive more? Because you've probably noticed that there are women out there who receive a lot. They receive a lot of money, attention, love, energy, support, and they have no problem receiving. They have no problem receiving, right? They can allow it to come in, they can allow things and people to support them. And so you might think, well, if they can do it so easily, why is it so challenging for me? And that's what we're going to break down in this video. So, the first things first is that to understand that you are not alone, that the energy of receiving can be very foreign to us who are super capable women. When we are super capable and high achieving and ambitious and smart and spiritual and have all the things, and we know how to do all the things, it can be a block because we have groomed ourselves and been rewarded in the energy of I put in this amount of work, I put in this amount of strategy, this amount of studying, this amount of energy towards this thing to get this result. For example, in school, you notice that, okay, if I sit down and I study for this many hours, I will get this grade. And this is one thing that, if you read the book Becoming by Michelle Obama, who is graduated from Princeton University, Harvard Law, forever First Lady, right? We'll talk about high achieving. We're going to talk about Michelle Obama, fully decorated woman in all areas of life. And she speaks about this in Becoming of she understood from second grade that if she studies for this amount of time and she puts this amount of work and focus, the end result will be what she wants, which is an A or whatever. So many of us have been groomed in the same sense that we understand that when I put my time, my energy, my attention into whether it be school, a project, a business, whatever, I get this result. And we've been groomed that way, we've been rewarded in that way, and we understand that in order to get this result, I put in this amount of time, energy, attention, focus. But what happens with feminine receiving is that it can feel awkward if we're receiving something that we haven't necessarily worked for. It can feel like I feel weak, I feel incapable. I feel like it feels off because I haven't necessarily worked for this thing. I haven't put my energy, my time, attention into this thing. So let me know if this resonates for you. We are fully capable and know how to do things. But then when someone else offers to do it for us or support us, we don't want to seem weak. We don't want anyone to view us as weak or incapable because we are so capable, because we are so smart, because we are so dynamic. And so when someone tries to step in and support, it could be like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I got it. Because inherently in some spaces and in most cases, you feel like, yeah, but I could do it better. Let me know if this resonates. Or, yeah, but I can do it. It's easy. I can do it because we're used to doing. So, feminine receiving is knowing that even though I am so smart, I'm so capable, I'm ambitious, I'm fully capable of doing all these things, I still allow I allow support. I allow people to come in and support me, even though I can do it myself. Because that is one of the shifts that we can make in that we don't have to do it all. When you know yourself and you focus in on your zone of genius and what you really what lights you up when you connect to your body and you like what lights me up and you focus your energy on that, you allow other people to come in and do what lights them up. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a person that you love business, you love to live stream, you love to create offers, you love to serve clients, you love to do all the things, like all the things business, 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 business. You are just like, that's your magic. It lights you up. It makes you like shiver inside of your body, like, oh, yes, I get to serve my clients. But let's say that you come from a background where the woman always has to cook and you feel shame that you're not maybe like passionate about cooking. And you can cook, you can do all the things, right? You can do business and cook, but you feel a bit of resentment or shame or like, I don't know, like I should be able to do all the things, but every time you cook, you feel super drained. But you're like, oh, I'm a woman, I should cook. If you shift into, I allow support, I allow people to come in and support me, and you hire someone to do meal prep, or you hire someone to come in and bring food a couple times a week, a chef, right? That chef loves to cook. There are people that love my best friend loves to cook. There are people, they're chefs, obviously, people who are passionate about cooking. They're like coming up with recipes, thinking about recipes. They get turned on when they go to the supermarket. Right? And so they're like, that lights them up. So when you create space and you stay in your zone of genius and you allow support, you receive support. You create space for you to not only make more, generate more revenue for yourself, but you also create space for other people to be in their zone of genius, which is not yours because we're all different. So it creates space for everybody to sparkle and to be in their zone because you're not trying to do all the things. You're not meant to do all the things. You're meant to do what lights you up. So allowing support allows for more people to be in their zone of genius and to be paid handsomely for it. So begin to notice in your body and have a body awareness of when you are receiving. And these are simple things. So once we bring awareness, that is when we start to make changes. So the first shift is actually just in awareness. And so begin to understand and acknowledge when you are receiving simple things and when you're pushing it away. So, sunlight, the sun on your face, can you receive it or are you just like going through the day? A smile, someone smiles at you, receive it. That's a gift. A baby smiles at you, it's a gift. It's a gift to you. The birds chirping on the trees, that's a gift. You receive that music. You didn't have to work for it, you didn't have to earn it, right? But you're receiving it, receiving fresh air, receiving a meal, receiving. And so when you're conscious of it, you can begin to open up your energetic body, but also your neural pathways in your mind to notice that you are actually receiving and you can receive more once you're conscious of it. Okay, we all have a set point in our body. This is the second thing to notice. We all have a set point in our body of how much we are allowing ourselves to receive. When we're receiving more than our nervous system is comfortable with or used to, we will begin to repel, we'll begin to push away, even if it's something that in our brain, cognitively, we're praying for and asking for every single day. So you can pray for more money and ask for more money. And then some money receives, some money comes in and you push it away. All of a sudden, you need to go to the store, you need to buy things. All of a sudden, you need to spend and give your money to people. You need to support people. You need to, all of a sudden, you fill up that Amazon cart. Let me know if this is making sense to you. Let me know if you resonate with this because you have a set point for receiving and how much your body can hold energy, how much your body can hold resources, money, attention, energy, wealth. So I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I was, I think it was so long ago, I was still living in Brooklyn. And I had inherited a small amount of money from my stepmother who had passed away. God rest her soul. She had given me like a couple $1,000s. God bless her, right? And when I received the money, my body was like, I felt like my heart was beating. I felt like I had fear. I was I could not have, like, gotten rid of the money more fast in my life. All of a sudden, I needed to pay all these things. All of a sudden, I needed to go shopping. All of a sudden, I needed to, like, do all these random things, go to Miami. Like, what? I couldn't hold it. My capacity was not at that set point. I could not hold it. And so we have different set points for different areas of our life. So for me, my money set point at that point was like super small. It's like, oh, if I receive it, I have to give it away. I need to spend it. All of a sudden, I need to go here. I need to go there. For attention, for energy, it's quite large because I have a background in performing. So, in me getting up in front of thousands and thousands of people, it feels like, yeah, I'm gonna feel like a little restrict. I'm gonna feel things in my body, but I won't totally freak out. It's actually exhilarating for me. I love performing. I've, in my past life, I was like traveling all over the world on stage. And so that feels good to me. It is still a little like I do get my butterflies, but I'm not like, I need to go, I need to lay down, or just the thought of it is going to like freeze me up. Whereas other people, their energetic container for eyes on them, for attention is different. It's a different set point. They might freeze. So each of area of your life, and the same for love. How much love can you hold in your body? How much pleasure do you allow yourself to hold in your body before you push it away? How much love can you receive before you push it away, before you repel it, before you're like, it's too much, it's too much. And it's so sneaky. It's so sneaky because it will come up in a conversation as like, oh, he's such a good guy, but he's boring. He's boring. He's a really good guy, but it's just the chemistry's off. It's because your set point is to drama and chaos, and that's what feels familiar. So our body are is always seeking for safety. And what feels safe and familiar is not always what is best for us. It's not always what we want, but it's a familiar hell. Have you ever heard that term? So let's say that you grew up in a chaotic home and dad was always cheating on mom. And that is the nervous system that you received in terms of love from the divine masculine. Love from the divine masculine meant chaos, it meant drama, it meant yelling, screaming, jealousy, other women, and all that. And that's your set point. So now you're a conscious adult and you're on your way and you're like, I really want a relationship. I really want this. And then you get a good guy and you're like, yeah, but he's so boring. He's so, it's just, there's no spark. There's no nothing. Because that doesn't feel safe to you. What feels safe is the guy that's cheating. What feels safe is the drama because that is very familiar to your nervous system. So begin to notice. And again, as we're going through these things, I want you to bring awareness of your life with great compassion and great love. We are just looking at ourselves not to judge and be like, oh my God, I'm so messed up. I need years of like work and all the. Yeah, we get to work on ourselves constantly and consistently because we're always unfolding. But do it through a lens of like, curiosity. Hmm, I just got triggered. What's that about? What's that? What's underneath the surface? Like bring in an energy of instead of like I need to heal. I'm so messed up. Just bring curiosity to it like, that triggered me. Where do I feel that in my body? Where is that tension coming from? Where's that contraction coming from? What is that? What's beneath that? I get to discover, I get to learn myself more. You are your greatest love. You are the muse of your life, and you get to discover all the hidden parts of you. Because let me tell you, only 5%. My hand looks crazy. Again, I don't have hot water, and I was working with dye. So I have dye on my hands. So that's why it looks crazy. So our conscious brain is only 5%. So everything that you want, all your lists, all your like desires and everything that you're writing is only 5%. You're like, I want more money. I want love. I want a healthy body. That's that 5% of your brain. 95%, the rest of it is subconscious. It's beneath the surface. If you notice in every one of my videos, I'm always like, okay, but let's beneath the surface because the subconscious mind is the womb of your creation. It's where you're creating, it's all of your actions because your actions hold your inner beliefs. If you want to know what you truly believe, you tap into your body. You tap into your body. Your body holds your true beliefs. So I'll give you an example. You can go to, let's say, you go into a restaurant and you open the menu. Are you immediately looking for the cheapest thing to eat? Even though, like, we want to be wise with our resources, but why do you look for the cheapest thing always for yourself? Why don't you look for the most nourishing or the one that you actually want? So that's an action, right? Your action is I'm looking for the cheapest thing. The belief behind that action is a conversation about worthiness. What do I get to have? Yes, we're always going to be smart with our resources. We're always going to be, not crazy overspending more than we have. But if you're subconsciously always looking for discount, always looking for the discount, the cheapest thing, and putting your energy towards getting yourself just the cheapest thing on discount and saying it proudly, oh, I got this on discount, discount, discount. Why? Do you search for that consistently instead of searching for what you want, what lights you up? Why do you believe you deserve discount, discount, discount instead of the best? I want the highest quality thing. How can I look for that? How can I make that happen? It's a conversation, very deep conversation about worthiness and what you believe. So, again, tapping into the body and noticing tension and restriction that happens throughout your day. Notice if, let's say, for example, you see somebody, let's say you're calling in love, right? You're calling in love and you desire a partner, you desire love in your life. And you see a couple and they're very much in love, you could see the vibes. They're all over each other. And then in your body you feel like a bit of grief, a bit of resentment, a bit of like heaviness in your heart. Notice that because your body is speaking to you. Your body holds your deepest beliefs. And you might believe there might be a part of you that feels grief because you don't subconsciously believe you deserve that or you'll ever get that. So notice in your body throughout the day, throughout your days, when things tighten, when there's contraction, and that awareness of, I feel something in my chest. I feel something in my belly. I feel something in my jaw. I feel something in my throat. Because we begin to peel back the layers and you begin to see those hidden beliefs behind that. And those hidden beliefs are literally ruling your world, and your life is unfolding from those beliefs. So, another thing to do is to slow down. So this is we're on tip number 3 is to slow down. We can be going, 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 and going so fast in our life. If we don't slow down, we're not really noticing or conscious of our actions, our beliefs, and what is going on with us. We're not like aware of what is happening. And so we go into these doing, 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 go, go, go. The energy of the feminine is a bit slower than the masculine because the feminine is the energy that the masculine is very pointed, it's very direct, it's pushing forward. The feminine is receptive energy. It is, I'm going to be open and I'm going to receive. And so throughout the day, if you can consciously slow down, you can begin to consciously take in moments when you can receive. So, here is an embodiment practice that I would like you to, this will really, really ground it in. Every day, I want you to set a timer for the afternoon or the evening, whenever it makes sense for you. And I want you to just take 3 minutes and you're going to write down, just in that moment, everything you're grateful for, just in the moment. There's no small, mundane things. I'm grateful for this water I get to drink. I'm grateful for this electricity and this internet where I get to speak to people, I get to teach. I'm grateful for this dress. I'm grateful for the food in my belly. I'm grateful for the roof, like any and everything that you're grateful for. You're going to just write a list. And then you're going to take a moment and you're going to feel that gratitude. And I want you to turn it up. So you're writing down what you're grateful for, and then you're going to turn it up, amplify that energy in your body. And I want you to press it through the edges of your energetic container. Press the edges out. So you're going to feel it. And just when you're like, oh, it's too much, take one breath more so that you can begin to slowly expand the amount of energy that you allow your body to feel, that you allow yourself to receive, and how much energy you allow your body to run the energy through. So, the feminine and the beauty of the feminine is that we have this beautiful, open, emotional body, and we have been ridiculed for being more emotional when it is actually our superpower. Because we have this beautiful emotional body, we're able to feel very deeply. And a lot of us have these are the feminine gifts that the masculine loves. These are the feminine gifts that we actually bring to the world because we are deeply feeling people or can be. And part of the problem is that when we are in our masculine, or we are groomed in the masculine, or we're taught to only value the masculine aspects of ourselves, we can suppress the feminine within us and disregard our own gifts. And these are the very gifts that the masculine is craving and thirsty and yearning for in relationship. And so now I'm talking about polarity, because your ability to receive is deeply desired by the masculine. It's what keeps your relationship juicy, it's what keeps it magical. It's what keeps him moving towards you because there's space for him to move. And you have the receiving energy, there's space for the masculine to move towards you and to feel more masculine in that outward projection of his energy. So, how the masculine feels in your presence is very important. Your feminine gifts of being able to receive is very important because it's showing him that there's space for him to be in his masculine, to lead, to penetrate. I'm talking about energetically and otherwise in other ways, right? And that's very healthy for your relationship and for you. Because think about our anatomy is literally designed for us to receive. And so we downplay our feminine gifts of receiving and the feminine gifts of being able to run energy through your body. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're in a relationship and you say, I really want some chocolate. And out of nowhere, maybe that later that night or the next day, your man gets you a chocolate chip cookie. And you're like, oh, babe, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, you're being thankful. You said thank you, right? You're like, oh, I said thank you. The feminine energy shift is to run that thank you, run that gratitude through your body. Now, I'm not saying to act like he just, paid your mortgage, gave you a car and a trip to Turks and Caicos. I'm not saying you need to be all excited over a little cookie. But what I am saying is allow the energy to build in your body. Go and give him a hug. Give him a kiss. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. And allow him to energetically feel the gratitude. So we're not just saying thank you. We're not keeping it from the neck up. You're running gratitude through your body. You're running that energy through your body. That is a deep feminine gift. And we suppress it because our society has taught us to downplay and to not value our feminine gifts. So allow your deep feeling body, allow your giddiness, your excitement, your playfulness, your creativity, allow that to go forward, to be running through the body and allow it to express out. Okay? Very important. That's how you keep that energy sticky and juicy in the relationship. The last and very, very important tip, she said, resonate highly with being super capable and wanting to do it myself. Yes. And part of that, my dear, is because we also have this lovely, lovely relationship with control. We love it. Where are my Virgos? Where are my Virgos? I'm a Virgo rising, okay? We love control because control, when we get to the root of control and why we love control, because there's a deep seated fear beneath the need to control. If I can control things, then I don't have to surrender. I feel more comfortable in control. I feel less comfortable in surrender. Maya, I'm a Virgo. Yes. Okay, so this is your full moon. I know that you're feeling this. We're all feeling this full moon very deeply. And part of this is yes, we have this beautiful, we are beautiful and we are capable of so many things. And we love to control because we know that we can do it well. But when we surrender in moments that are calling us to surrender, there is beauty in that because we allow ourselves to be supported. We allow others to step in for us. Think about how good it feels to help someone. How it that's what as humans, like we love to help people because it makes us feel good. And so when you don't allow someone to help you, you're robbing them of that experience of joy and pleasure that it is to help. If someone gives you a compliment and they're like, again, don't mind my fingers. I was playing with dye. Someone gives you a compliment, they're like, here, you look so beautiful today. You're like, nah, I didn't even sleep. I'm a mess. Got so much going on. My heater broke. It's been a day. What you're doing is you're taking that gift that they're trying to give you and you're going, you're knocking it down, you're knocking it away. And so when people come in to support us, allow is the code. I allow. I allow. I allow support. I allow. And so you're releasing control and fine tuning into the energy of faith, the energy of trust. Trusting that person got us. But also releasing the need for control is also trusting in our inherent capability and our inherent deservingness of love without martyrdom. We deserve love and support without martyrdom. Just because. So, the same way that it feels good to help, allow other people to help us. And many of us have this hidden belief that, okay, if I'm like allowing someone to help me and they're coming in, it means that I'm not capable. It kinda, like, downplays my badassness because we have, especially in communities of women of color, we know that there is a hidden badge of honor in our suffering. I did it all on my own. Did it by myself, got it from the ground up. No one helped me. We wear it as a badge of honor. It is not honorable. Allow yourself to be supported because you deserve. It does not mean that you're less capable. It means that you're smart. It means that you're in your queen frequency and you understand that community and support is your birthright because you are a queen. That's a queen frequency. So it does not mean that you're not capable. And how you're going to rewire this is for my go getters, my ambitious ones, my doing it all. I want you to start to begin to truly, truly take your self care to the next level. Do your self care to the next level. Like, think about where you're going and think about the type of woman, how you want to show up energetically and take it seriously because your self care cannot be neglected. The way that you care for yourself, your body, your rest, your mind, your journaling is very important because it rewires your brain. We spoke about this in the last video. When you take out time, energy, and attention on something, your brain wires that as like, that's very important. When you're paying attention to, let's say, you want to go and you want to buy a new computer and you're researching all the computers that you want to buy. You look at this one type of computer, and then you notice that because you put your time, your energy, your focus on that type of computer, that specific model, whatever, whatever. You start to notice that everywhere you go, you see this damn computer. You go to a cafe, there it is. You're watching TV and the commercial, there goes that computer. Because your brain has registered that's important. Pay attention to that. The same thing happens with your self care. When you take the time, the energy, and attention to journal, for example, and you journal, you're allowing your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings, and you're paying the time and attention, especially handwriting, because that is so significant. It's a spell. It literally, your brain slows down and you're able to like remember things very on a deeper level. And it becomes even more important because it's passing from the brain into a somatic experience. So when you're writing in your journal, you signal to your brain, my feelings matter. My thoughts are important. My feelings are important. And you walk with that throughout your day. When you take the time to self care and you're like, you know what, I'm tapping into my body right now and I'm tapped out. I had too much. I feel drained. I feel tired. I feel like I just need to rest. And you take that rest, you take that time to go and take a nap or get a massage or do something for yourself. And you're registering to your brain, this matters. This is important. When you consistently take your dance classes, your Pilates classes, your yoga classes, and you're consistently pouring your time, energy, attention, money into yourself, you investing in yourself, your brain is like, this is important. And when you walk with that energy of this is important, and your brain is signaling she's important, other people begin to pick up on that frequency and they're like, oh, she's very important. She matters. She knows her worth. I'm not gonna mess with her. I'm not gonna waste her time. It's it's not only just an energy, it's not only just a frequency, it is a practice. How you show up for yourself. So for example, when I lived in Brooklyn, every week I would buy myself fresh flowers. It's very like, it's just there. You have all the bodegas and everybody got fresh flowers. Every week I like to buy myself fresh flowers. And so when I got into my relationship, he noticed. So it's very easy for him to once a week buy me fresh flowers because that's what I did for myself. That was like, that's my baseline. That's my baseline. And I know you see these little fake flowers in the back. Well, I don't live in Brooklyn anymore. It's very hard to get fresh flowers where I'm at, but nonetheless, it was very easy for him to fall in line because that was my energetic standard for myself. It's very easy for people to invest in you, for you to receive time, energy, attention, support, gifts. It's very easy for people to give to you when you give to yourself because you invest. It's easy to invest in someone that invests in themselves because they don't feel like they're filling a gap. So if you're desperate for attention, if you're desperate for gifts, if you're like, "Oh my god, if he doesn't buy me this meal, I'm not going to eat." That desperate, icky energy is super repelling. Not that you're consciously giving that desperation, but it's that people can feel that gap. And it's a law of energy, it's a law of the universe in that. And it's hard pill to swallow because the people who need the money the most n- don't have it, and the people that have the money and need it the least have the most, and they keep getting richer because they don't need it. So whatever that you're looking for, the hack is to give it to yourself in creative ways. If you're looking for love and you want someone to be healthily obsessed with you, and you would love that for someone to give you all that attention and admiration, well, how are you doing that for yourself first? How are you showing up for yourself? And be really honest with an air of loving awareness. Like I'm just bringing this to my awareness with love of like what my hidden patterns are. How am I showing up for myself? How am I treating myself? And your ability to receive will expand more the more that you're able to give to yourself and be comfortable with that. So you're rewiring the patterns in your brain to be able to receive. It's easy for me to receive things that I'm already giving to myself. And sometimes we can subconsciously repel because it is a conversation of our worthiness and what we believe that we deserve. What do you believe you deserve? Do you want discount, 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 bottom shelf always? Or are you ready for high quality, the best of the best? And you can work your way up. You can work your way up because a lot of times it can be feel off if we are living a life and receiving more love, more support, more resources, more money. It can feel off. We're receiving all of those things and better quality of life than the people that raised us. And sometimes we can sabotage based off of that. And so know that This work that you're doing on yourself is the most important work that you can do ever. Because when you start to look at these shifts and improve the quality of your energy, the quality of your frequency, the quality of your life, the quality of the things that you allow to come towards you, the way that your container expands, your energy expands to receive, you begin to shift everyone around you. 7 generations forward and 7 generations back. Your ancestors are clapping for you, they are cheering for you, they want the best for you. And now it's up to you to claim that and to actively shift your energy to receive more with ease. So let me know how that's landed for you. If you have any questions, anything coming up for you, I do have a couple minutes. Shout out to all the Virgos. Shout out to everyone. Honestly, we're all feeling this full moon, all of us. So, part of the reason why I decided to create a membership is because I understand that caring for ourselves and giving to ourselves and to our body can sometimes be inconvenient. We don't always have the time and the space to get into our car, to go to a class, to make it there on time. And so I created it to be online so that there is a library. It's basically live classes, but I made it so that you will always have the replay. You can always catch the vibe when it works for your schedule. We are all over the world, in different parts of the world. Not everyone can make it to my daytime classes, but I record them so that when you are home and you have the time, you're able to pour into yourself. When you pour into yourself in that way, everything shifts. Everything. A wonderful reminder that I would like in a partner, I must do already for myself. And yes, definitely feeling this full moon. Yes, right? Hi, mamita. Yes. So when I was on my journey to calling in love, I had a lot of pressure. Let me tell you, I had a lot of pressure because it was back in the day. Um, I was back in the day. I was traveling, right? As a single woman, all up in like my career, money, making money, being flown around the world, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, all over the world to literally like work in my passion, which is teaching dance, which is teaching feminine energy, which is showcasing my jewelry and stuff, right? And so I was so wrapped up in that. And I was like, oh, that's it. Like, that's what's lighting me up at the time. But I also had this internal like nudge of like, every time it's the holidays, or every time that I would have a win, or every time I had a sad moment. Yes, I had my friends, but I did want something deeper. I did want somebody in my corner. I did want that masculine to like hold me and me to nuzzle my, like put my head on his chest. I wanted that. I wanted that holding, you know? And so I kind of brushed it off. Later down the line, I go to Cuba and I'm a priestess of Oshun. So I did a very big ceremony with my godmother. And I was basically it was like a big ceremony in which I graduate, I'm liberated, and I like do this big thing. So anyway, not graduate, but it's an elevation. So Oshun comes and she speaks to me. So anytime your Orisha speaks to you, it's like a really, really big deal, really big deal in this way. And I thought, oh my God, she's going to tell me about my business. She's going to give me the keys to the kingdom. She's going to make, give me all of like the what to do to take it to the next level. And oh, she's going to be like, it's going to be about that because that's where my mind was. The only thing that she said very few things, but she said, now is the time to start your family. And she did say it's a couple of things about my children. I didn't have kids at the time, but she told me I was going to have 2 C-sections and other things. But she said, "Now is the time to go and find my king. Now is the time." And I was like, "Skirt, what?" I was not thinking that way. I was very much not in that energy, even though deep inside I was, deep inside. But I was not expecting that. So now I had this like pressure on me of like, she said very few things. She didn't want much. She just wanted that. And I was like, oh my God. But like, how? I had such bad luck with that. I was like, you know, it was not my arena. And so I had to set out on this journey and I had this pressure from my Orisha to get this done, but also from my family. I would my brother's wedding, my father like stood up in front of the congregation, was like telling the bride to throw it to me. It's like in front of a church full of people. And then, you had like the prayers at the table and people be praying for you to like get it together, all of that stuff. So I had all of this pressure, but then inside I did have a yearning. I did have a yearning. And when I set out on my journey, it was not easy. I got everything but love. I got liars and cheaters and all the things, toxic relationship after toxic relationship after toxic relationship. And so I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I surrender. Like, this is not going to happen. And I'm just going to be single. And I surrendered. But what I also did was I was in so much pain from toxic relationships and so much pain from the disappointment in love and angst and being hurt over and over and not understanding easy for other people and not me. Like, I don't want to feel this pain anymore. I began like I felt it here for sure in my heart. My heart, my throat, like here. And I began to pour so much love into myself. I began to give myself so much love. I had a dance studio at the time. I began dancing just for myself, not to teach anyone else, but just for me to dance. I began to take care of my body better. I began to like feel love from myself and I began to pamper myself. And what did I need? You want a smoothie, Maya? Get a smooth. Like, I began to really, really fully embody love on such a deeper level than ever before. Because self care can be very like, okay, I'm gonna get my hair, my nails, because it's like obligation. And switch that obligation to devotion. I am devoted to the goddess within me. I'm devoting my love, my energy, my care, my beautiful, tender heart. I'm devoting to her. I'm devoted to her. I bring flowers to her. I adorn her with the best. And I was in that frequency when I had love literally come right to me very easily. That was the energy. That was the energy. And that's what I teach. And that's what I offer. So we can stay in that frequency. And that's what's in my membership, Colegares. It's the mindset work, it's the body, the sensual stretch, the opening the hips, the dance classes, the because even when you are in a relationship, you must always stay devoted to the love with you as well. And learning that balance, learning that dance, learning how can I pour love while still being centered in my own self-love. Where is that dance? And a lot of times we can get so off kilter in this modern world because we're so isolated from other women, because we are also meant to be poured into by other women, women who are of a good frequency. In ancient times, in our ancestral times, women would do a lot of things together. But because we're in modern times, we're so isolated. We depend so much on our partner to be our everything, our therapist, our fashion person, all the things, our business coach. Like, it's a lot. It can strain the relationship. So, being in community with women enhances your feminine energy. It makes you, it pours into you and it nurtures you and it helps to fill you up as well. Anything else coming up for you? So if you have any questions, I'm always here. I always read the comments, and Cole Goddess is open. It's ready. And that is the space where we practice. That's the space where you get the consistency and the inspiration and the community. And you can feel into your radiance and you can feel into your hips, your body, your internal wisdom. So that is in the description below. Anything else coming up for you? I know there's a lag. What are you guys doing on this full moon? Do you have plans? So, something that you can do is you can get a bowl of water and you can allow the moonlight to hit the water. And with that water, you can wash your windows and clean your mirrors and wash your front door. And that just helps to keep the energy fresh because this full moon is a lot about releasing. So, old karma, old patterns are going to come to the surface and it will help you to release. It will help you to release things. Can you talk more about the Cole subscription? Do you offer weekly movement classes? Yes, I do. So the Cole Goddess is a membership. That's my baby. That's where I put all of my energy into. And we do weekly classes. It's weekly movement classes, Afro Caribbean classes, sensual stretch, um, mindset work. We do community. So every Wednesday we meet and we have mindset work. I also have a lot of my recorded courses are in there. So, feminine energy work, dating, seduction, magnetism, all the stuff that's like, I can't put just out there on the internet because it's very powerful. And I don't want it to get into just anyone's hands, you know? Um, but we have that also in there. meditations and sacred sexuality. My jade egg work is in there as well. It's everything. Yes. So if you're interested in opening your hips, connecting to your body, dance, stretch, meditation, and then working also on your mindset work. And so because it's recorded, you get to do this on your own time and whenever it works for you. So, like, let's say, you know what, on a Tuesday, I get home from work early, I just pop in instead of like doom scrolling on social media, instead of consuming whatever, you can learn about some things and learn about yourself because ultimately a lot of life is just distracting us from ourselves because we don't want to feel certain things, but those feelings is information, and with that information you can grow into the woman you deserve to be and who you're yearning to become and being called to become. But sometimes it can feel so hard. And it's hard because we're distracted. And it's also hard because we're out of community. You know, when you see that there's other women who are like, yo, I'm on this path. I'm claiming it. I want my wealth. I'm on my wealthy woman era, or I'm on my lover era, and I'm calling in love. When you see that there's other women on the path, it reinforces you. It's like when birds fly and they migrate, they create a formation, and that allows them to fly with more ease. You entrain into someone's energy, it becomes a lot easier. The more you invest in yourself, you allow others to invest in you. Yes, it's true. Think about like if someone came up like trying to be like, "Oh, I'm going to teach you about health." But then you look at them and they're super unhealthy. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I have this course. It's all about how to be healthy and da 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 da." But they have not invested in their health. They are not walking the talk. They are not like I told you the story about the doctor. I was supposed to go to see this doctor. He was a specialist, and oh my, I don't want to judge people, but clearly his organs were screaming like, "Please do something different with your life." His face and like super obese and just like he was a doctor trying to tell me about health. No, thank you. You have not invested in your own. I'm definitely in my season of getting to know myself better. Yes, because this knowledge, this is why the powers that be will try to distract you. Because when you learn yourself, right? That's what ancient Kemet was about, knowledge of self. You learn yourself, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you can really go towards your destiny and what you're meant to do on this earth because we're not all meant to be or do the same thing. We're not meant to be the same person, but if we don't learn ourselves, we can feel shame for not being like so and so. I gave the example earlier of cooking. Not every woman loves cooking, but some do. But you don't feel bad if you don't like it. You don't like it. Some women, like I have a friend who she had a very traumatic childhood and she is an incredible homemaker. Like, oh my God, this girl is like, she's a stay-at-home mom, amazing, like she just like she's all about her home. That is her zone of genius, right? Like it brings her so much joy. It's literally healing her soul. She's the best ¿cómo se llama esto? Homeschool mom. She's so good. She's so good. She's planning stuff and they go out every other day and she's creating all these other groups together and she's doing all the things. That's her zone of genius. I cannot compare myself to that. That's not mine. That's not me. And so am I going to feel bad because I'm not like her? No, because I have knowledge of self. I know my zone of genius is not that. But I have my towards what lights me up, which is this. I love teaching, streaming, right? But if I was trying to be like her, we wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't be able to share and to teach. I love this. It lights me up. And so for her, it's something different. But when you learn your own, then there's less shame and less comparison. It's more like, oh, good for her, right? But I'm not going to beat myself up because I'm not like anyone else. Okay. Sending you guys so much love and blessings. I'll see you inside. Peace and love. See you in the next one.